Hello everyone and welcome back to the off-season channel. Before we do get into the top 10 tips to become a better sneaker reseller, here is the winner of the last video's giveaway. Congratulations to you, you have won a pair of Dunk Low Pandas. To claim this, just message us on our off-season Instagram. And for this video, we'll be giving away a pair of Dunk Low Grey Fogs. All you've got to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you like the video, and you comment what your Instagram handle is. And we'll see you in the next video to announce the winner. So hello everyone and welcome to today's video. You may know me as Kai Kicks, but I'll be presenting you today top 10 tips to become a better sneaker reseller. So make sure you listen carefully. So tip number 1 is sell your sneakers correctly. Don't just be selling on the same platform every single time. What you will notice as a sneaker reseller is all these different platforms have different prices. So you have many places. You have StockX, you have Goat, you have Instagram locally, you have Facebook, you have Laced, you have Collect, you have Elias, and you've also got us, off-season. Before you just sell on the main platform like StockX, you should be checking all of these platforms to maximize your profit. The best tip coming from a sneaker reseller themselves is actually selling them local is always going to be your best profit margins. This way you can avoid all the fees and you can usually charge more than the StockX ask. So build a brand for yourself and make sure you're selling for the most amount of money possible. Even if you're only getting an extra £5, it's definitely worth doing because if you sold say 200 pairs that year, that's an extra £1,000 that you're technically missing out on right now. So tip number 1, make sure you're selling on the correct platform. Tip number 2, when you're just starting out and you don't really know the market, you should really not be going for these low profit and hard to move sneakers. This is otherwise known as brick flipping. Now, brick flipping is a lot more accessible to the average user, however it can lead to yourself getting stuck with these pairs, not being able to make any money on them, and really slowing down your cash flow. So if you're stuck with 10 pairs of the sneaker that you've invested £1,000 into, and on the other hand using that £1,000 to only go for the hype releases, quick flipping these releases to make quick money, and your capital will grow from there. Not only your capital will grow, your experience will grow alongside this, which means once your capital and experience grow, you can then go back into brick flipping. And you don't need to worry about moving shoes as fast as they can. So when you're starting out, go for the high profit sneaker releases. You can make 30, 50, 100, 200 or even more on some of these sneakers. I would not be looking at these brick flips when you're starting out. So that's tip number 2. Make sure you're going for good profit margin sneakers when you're starting out. So tip number 3, selling used sneakers. I wouldn't recommend this if you're just starting out. However, people don't know you can make a good solid stream of income just from selling used sneakers. When you're buying used sneakers, you can usually get them for a lot discounted value, which leads to your profit margins actually being higher than you think. I will give you a prime example of this. Last summer, everyone wanted Yeezy 350s and Yeezy slides. What I did is I paid between £70 and £120 for as many different Yeezy 350 creams, which is the all-white pair. I would get them in, I'll be moving them for around the £150 mark, leaving me some really good profit margins. That's over a 50% return on investment. If you start scaling this up to 10, 20, 30 pairs, it adds up to be a lot of money. Which leads us on to tip number 4. Don't be afraid to clean up the sneakers. I was buying beat up Yeezys. Yeezys that looked like they had no life in them. I was getting them in, doing some manual labour, cleaning them up as best as I could, taking good quality photos of them, which led to me making over £50 profit every single Yeezy I bought. And at one point I was moving 10 to 20 a week. So on top of doing sneaker releases, there is a market for used sneakers. So don't be scared to clean them up. Now tip number 5 is a little bit different. We're going to be talking about holding sneakers. Now when you start off, I don't recommend holding sneakers. I recommend just to keep quick flipping to keep the cash flow up, the motivation up, and build up your capital. However, when you get to a point in reselling where capital is not much of an issue, holding sneakers can be very, very lucrative. The stack of Yeezy slides you see behind me, all Yeezy slide Onyxes. I got them all for retail at £60 when they first released. When I first got them, resale was sitting between the £90 and £100 mark. We are now 6 months later down the line and I held every single pair of these. Profit on these now are sitting around the £150 to £200 mark, which means I'm making extra £50 to £100 than I would have if I sold upon release. It's same with most of the Jordan 4s you see behind me. Jordan 4 Military Blacks, when they first released, were only looking at around £280 resale. Most sizes now are sitting above £400 about 8 months later. The nice looking colorways, the popular models that are in demand, the capital is there, I'll definitely think about holding some pairs. Again, another stream of income to make you more money. Now the next tip links to selling again. What I mean by this is reduce your fees as much as possible. This means by taking multiple forms of payments. Things like PayPal, bank transfer, cash meetups and so on. Obviously make sure you are doing this safe before anything, but what I mean by this is instead of selling on StockX where they take 10% for your fees and charge you £5 shipping, look to try and sell to someone local. By meeting them up, by them giving you cash, you're saving on nearly 13% a whole sneaker. So try and reduce all the fees as much as possible, guys. Cash, bank transfer, PayPal, all of these options are nearly 0% rates, which means you don't have to worry about StockX charging you 10%. So keep that in mind when you're selling sneakers. Again, it may not be much of a difference for individual pairs. However, when you look back on the year and you sold 200, 300, 400 pairs, it really does add up. The next tip is market research. Make sure you're doing your research before investing into any sneaker, guys. See, way too many people see a Jordan 1 raffle and just start entering loads of accounts into there. They then start winning loads, they get the shoes and realize there's no profit to be made. Make sure you're doing your market research by looking at YouTube videos, finding out what other people's opinions are, looking on social medias. These are all ways that you can do your market research to ensure that you're actually going to make profit. This is also the same for finding out how you can hit multiple pairs on a release. If you're struggling to hit pairs on release, then that all comes down to market research again. Make sure you're doing everything possible without getting filtered so you can hit as many as possible. Tip number 8, and probably the most valued tip for myself, have fun. Have fun with sneaker reselling, guys. You're not going to enjoy the game if you don't enjoy what you're doing and you're not motivated to do this. If this means doing it with a couple mates, having a close-knit group of friends who help each other to start sneaker reselling, enjoy your journey, guys. Yes, it can be slow when you're starting off. You may struggle to hit your first pair, but once you get that ball rolling, you'll be more motivated than ever and you'll be making more money than ever. So have fun with it. Tip number 9, don't just rely on the sneakers app. Make sure you're building a good network around you. Having close mates who also sneaker resell, who you help out, they help out you. It's going to really help you for sneakers. The biggest one being is get into a good cook group. Now, a cook group is a group where they provide you all the information about sneakers, whether that's sneaker releases, how to get your hands on these sneakers, where to sell them, how to scale your business if you wanted to start sneaker buying. A cook group is going to be there to assist you for all of this. Now, the final tip for you, tip number 10, is reinvest your profits. Yes, obviously treat yourself here and there, guys, but just because you've made £500 off one shoe does not mean you can go and buy £300 worth of clothes. By putting the money back into the business, it's going to help you make a lot more in the future. So reinvest your profits, put the money back into the business, and trust me, you will go a long way. Not only that, your capital will build a lot faster. And that's it for today's video. There is your top 10 tips to become a better sneaker reseller. Remember to drop a like on today's video, comment down your Instagram handle for a chance to win a pair of Dunk Low Grey Fogs, subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out all of our socials on screen right here, and remember we do have 2 sneaker store locations located in Leicester and Loughborough if you want to check them out. It's been Kai Kit, it's good luck in your sneaker reselling business, and I'll see you guys in the next one.